Welcome into the latest edition of Extra Time. We've got Craig Burley, Frank LeBoeuf and Shaka's back. He's been hanging out with Steph Curry.
Yes, I was.
He's back with the little people now.
What?
You're welcome.
What height is Steph Curry?
Huh?
What height is Steph Curry? You taller than Steph Curry?
A little.
Are you?
Yeah.
What kind of basketball players are
Yeah, I could take him. I feel I could take him.
Yeah.
6'2",
I feel I could take him.
told.
that?
I feel I could take him. 6'4". Yeah.
So what was you doing? What's the backstory to this?
Golf.
You don't play golf, you pack that in.
No, I do. We're in Pebble Beach. Playing Pebble Beach this weekend, Monday.
For what?
Howard University Golf Gala.
So he went to Howard and you went to Howard?
No, he didn't go to Howard. He put up the money to start Howard University's golf team.
Oh, okay.
So they have a fundraising gala. Huh?
I've seen you golf. What's that got to do with you?
Well, I'm a Howard alum, so I went to play golf.
Pebble Beach must have been a challenge to you.
It was testing. It was testing. Shot a 44 on the back. I'm happy with that.
But he's delighted to be back in Bristol, Connecticut. With
Yes.
I tell you what, he does manage to travel, this man. He deflects about, he never, and then he's...
You didn't even know I was gone.
No. Well,
See?
nobody's seen you.
Well,
The only last time we saw you was sat in front of those two lamps at your house, and then you
that's right.
making noises.
Shaka's been on a business trip.
That's
All right.
right.
Pebble Beach, I've never played it.
It's gorgeous. Yeah. Goodness me, yeah.
Yep, Shaka's been mixing with the big ones.
Yeah.
All right.
I bet he never even mentioned any of us.
Of course not.
Not once.
Of course not.
I didn't even think of you.
Speaking of big stars, you'll be happy with the first question, Craig. Why do you say Chelsea don't need a showman, Neymar? But the group thinks Rafinha, also a showman, could be a good fit. They both got more or less the same number of goals for their respective teams, despite Neymar missing out now and then during the season.
Now and then. Like that. Now and then. Who wrote this? Neymar's agent?
I will explain for this individual. I think Neymar is much more of a showman, has much more baggage. Oh, and by the way, comes with a much heavier salary than a man from Leeds United. So I hope that explains. And they're different positions. One's a white guy and one's not, really.
What did you describe it would be at Chelsea?
Circus.
Circus. That was good. That was funny. Neymar could work on Neymar could walk on the trapeze while everybody else is going to shut out the cannons. That was funny. That made me good.
Can you imagine?
That was funny. That was good.
Frank will pay for a ticket.
It's the last thing Triple needs this year, isn't it?
Okay, for all, based on the three selected expensive signings, which team was more wasteful in their spending? Number one, Chelsea with Kepa at 71 million, Lukaku at 97 million and Morata at 60 million, or Man United with Pogba at 105 million, Maguire at 87 million and Lukaku again at 84 million. What do you think, Frank?
Oh, Manchester United. Of course. You know, you just add the numbers and you have a better spending. That's appalling. Both of them, you know, the choices that they made, the price that they paid, and I think Shaka during the show explained that he doesn't understand, in fact, how people could put so much money on some people down, and I totally agree with that. I think that has to stop. People has to stop to get crazy about some players and putting so much money on that, because you don't get the money back. You get the money back on Messi, you get the money back on Cristiano Ronaldo. I guess you get the money back on Mbappe, because, you know, merchandising-wise, you're gonna get the money back. Otherwise, you waste the money. Or I guess you bet, and you bet a lot.
You're getting quoted by Frank LeBoeuf here.
Well, that's very nice indeed. Who were these signings again? I can't see.
Who was more wasteful? Kepa, Lukaku and Morata at Chelsea,
right,
or Pogba, Maguire and Lukaku at Man United?
I think Chelsea were more wasteful.
Take that, Frank.
Was it 73 for Kepa? You're not going to get any of that back. Lukaku, you just took a £90 million loss on Lukaku. Morata, I can't remember Morata's figures, but that was a disaster. At least you got games out of Pogba, you're still getting games out of Maguire, and at least you got money back, substantial money back for
They've
Lukaku.
not been very good games, have they?
Well,
there's a
nobody's had good games. Nobody's had good
Well,
games
there's a
in that
counter
list.
argument to say, yeah, Chelsea have wasted money on these players, but in that period they've had some semblance of success.
Yeah.
Cups.
Granted,
One league.
but we're just talking about the
I bet
wasteful
Steph
signing.
Curry said, "Who the hell are you?"
No, he was challenged me to one-on-one
Did he come up
basketball.
and say, "Are you Shaka Hislop, the
Challenged
mayor
me
of
to.
Newcastle?"
It's like I've
Did
heard.
he?
No,
Did he come up and say, "Are you the mayor of Newcastle?"
I was on
Shaka
the back of my shirt. That's how I had it on the back of my shirt.
Carrying his award.
Yeah. Let me sign your shirt for you, Steph.
He had the big thing around his neck. What do you call that thing?
Oh,
He
yeah.
came with his
The medallion.
The medallion.
Yeah.
Steph brought his MVP trophy. He brought his.
Did you say, look what I've got?
Yeah, I was like, you wait till you see mine.
What did you bring? The hammer of the year? How would you bring an MVP trophy?
He brought it and he gave to the kids to
Oh,
take.
there's kids there?
The
Oh, well, that's nice.
kids
Yeah.
golf team.
So I thought it was kids.
Howard University
kids.
golf.
I thought it was just like sycophantic adults like you.
No. I was the only sycophantic
kids is good.
adult.
Kids is good.
Well, students, the students on the golf team, the Howard golf team, and they all took photos with the.
So you're saying he doesn't know who we are? You're saying he doesn't watch the show?
That's correct.
When did you tell him off?
I denied all knowledge of you.
Did you tell
of
him
all
off?
of you?
Did you say watch it?
No, I didn't.
Spreading the word, Shaka. You're supposed to spread the word wherever you go.
I'll remember
ESPN
that.
FC, 7 days
Yeah.
a week, 365 days a year.
No, he doesn't
1.3
know.
million
Listen.
subscribers on YouTube and all that.
1 point what?
You have to be
Something like that.
That was months ago. It's 1.4.
be a little bit
now.
sorry, I
corporate,
didn't.
Shaka, please.
Do you know when he rings up the boss for these days? They must be like, again. That's a good deflection. That's a great deflection tactic. See?
Blame on
Never
Shaka.
have time off. Never.
Never. All right, ranking order. I'll go with you, Craig. 90s era Serie A, Messi Ronaldo era in La Liga, or the Pep Klopp era in the English Premier League?
90s Serie A. Well, I wasn't really across that, to be honest, because I was playing in England at the time. But I know what you mean. It was a very. That would be the time with Channel 4 in England, where we used to go big on it.
Football Italia.
James Richardson, yeah, Football Italia. It was very nice. The Messi Ronaldo era. I don't know, really. I wouldn't say Pep Klopp just because it was the Premier League. I mean, Serie A or Messi. I would say Messi Ronaldo.
Me too.
Yeah.
I think Messi Ronaldo.
Messi
that
Ronaldo.
had us for a decade, solid.
Would you agree, Frank?
I do agree. Messi Ronaldo is simply amazing. So many goals, so many games, so many talent, so much talent. And after I have to go for the Serie A in the 90s because I remember many of the French players like Marcel Desailly, Zidane, Didier Deschamps, and so many others, Candela in Roma, they played in the 90s for some clubs in Serie A. That was quite amazing to see Milan winning Champions League after Champions League. Pep Klopp is interesting, but Pep didn't win the Champions League. That's why I put it in the third position.
Little dig, that sounded like.
See, if you wanted to get some big ups with Steph Curry, you could have said,
There's something wrong with that entire sentence.
you could have said to him, you've got a colleague, moi, right? Scottish guy, very grumpy, got a sore arm at the moment, right? You could have said he played for Scotland schoolboys under 15 basketball team. And he
Yeah,
went-
Shaka, why didn't you
and
do
he
that?
went, wow, I could have been him. Because I'm also about his height. Maybe I'm an inch or two shorter.
Oh, or four.
No, I'm not. I'm not Dan Thomas.
What stopped you, Shaka?
From,
could have said-
from mentioning Craig's basketball experts.
His basketball career?
I have to admit, I forgot about Craig's basketball. And
I forgot about it.
And to be- and
It is pretty
he mentions
forgettable.
he mentions his basketball career more than Frank mentions winning the World Cup.
Steph Curry can stick his MVP. When I was
True.
playing for Scotland,
True.
under 15s in London against England under 15s, I got the MVP as the point guard, right?
Way before Steph did it.
Way before anybody over here was even talking about that kind of nonsense.
Way before Steph was even born.
Yeah, way before Steph. Okay.
Didn't even get out of the building and the Boston Celtics were on the phone.
Next question.
Larry Bird came over himself and said, "Come set me up, Larry." Big Larry. Me and Big Larry go back.
Big Larry.
Me and Big Larry go. You know Larry Bird?
Yeah, of course.
Read the next question,
Well, I
please,
don't know
Kate.
him personally.
Read the
You know
next
what I'm talking
question.
about?
Yeah, of course, but you haven't watched The Last Dance either, have you?
The what?
The Last Dance,
How do
which
you
we
know I've not
told
watched
you.
it since the last show?
Have you started watching
How
it?
do you know I've not watched it since the last show?
He hasn't
I don't.
watched it. He
I've been busy.
He hasn't watched it. He hasn't watched it.
Been busy.
Been watching the
I'm watching something on Hulu at the moment, so I'm in.
What are you watching, Love Island?
That's other people in my family. actually, Love Island has been on in my house on Hulu in the last few nights. My wife and my daughter are watching that. I am watching something else on there. That's my corporate stick for the day.
All right.
Hulu. Yeah. I can't get in trouble now.
If things go on differently, maybe The Last Dance could have been about you, but it wasn't to be,
I've had a
Craig.
few last dances.
Shaka, next question for you. What goalkeepers in Shaka's day does he think had the skills to play the modern way, passing out from the back?
Oh goodness, that's a good question.
Well, not easy, is it?
None.
I remember Frank.
Paul Robinson as well. I don't know how good he was. He could certainly strike the ball. Paul Robinson. I'm trying to think of who else really.
Not many goalkeepers. I remember, well, our goalkeeper at the time, I don't know, Frank, I think Frank was there with him, but he came before Frank. Dmitry Karin was, at the time when he signed for Chelsea, the Russian #1 goalkeeper, right? He was a very good goalkeeper. But you gave him the ball back and he couldn't kick it far enough and long enough and quick enough away. In fact, one time, we'll talk about modern goalkeepers now been, pretty up with their feet. At Stamford Bridge, we were playing Newcastle, and I can't remember, but it was a very tight game. It was right at the end, and Dimi was taking a goal kick, and he took, in golf terms, what we would call a very large divot. And the ball just managed to trundle to the edge of the box to Mr. Les Ferdinand, who dispatched it into the back of the net.
I love that.
And at which point, when Dimi came back into the dressing room, Dennis Wise took his shoe off with all the cleats and studs on it and threw it at him right across the dressing room. It just missed his head and called him a few names.
So I know I'm setting myself up here. I already know.
Slightly different.
I used to play out in the park. I played out in the field when I was at the university in the US.
Howard?
Yes. When we were behind, I was the emergency striker. I would play out in the park. I wasn't bad on my feet.
But you weren't
But-
good either.
I could play with my feet, but you come to England and nobody expects you to. You don't practice it. Defenders don't want the ball back. They expect you to kick it long. They don't want it. So you just kind of lose touch.
But don't forget we come from an era
I am
where,
naturally a very talented.
But see, people are saying,
With my
the
feet.
goalkeepers back then couldn't. I can't believe I'm going to be sticking up for goalkeepers now. I
Go
say,
on then.
home.
You know you
I
want
need
to.
go
You know you
home
want to.
And go in a room and cleanse myself. But for those that don't remember and who think this sport was only invented in the last decade, goalkeepers used to be able to pick the ball up, as we
Yeah.
know. So you pass it back to the goalkeeper as a mechanism to take the pressure off. He'd pick it up, waste it back. So they never had to do
Never
that.
had to.
They'd pick it up, and then all of a sudden, that rule was banished, and you pass it back to the goalie, and there was sparks coming out of him.
Yeah.
And just like, so it's not that they couldn't do it. It was that it wasn't in the game.
But seriously, you get the ball back. Defenders weren't looking for a short pass either. Defenders didn't want a ball under pressure either. So they'd pass it back, they'd turn around and just start running up the field. They didn't. So all you had to do was kick it. So there was never a need for or want for goalkeepers to pass the ball at the back.
I was talking to Stevie about this, and our era playing Frank, Shaq, me, in the 90s and early 2000s, whatever. I was talking to Stevie about it, and I was saying, it just felt, as a central midfielder, which I was, when you played the big, most teams, there was no space.
Yeah.
You look at the games now and you go, oh my God, look at the space he's got. There just seemed to be no space, and they were all really good players, but you had no space. And it was because nowadays, obviously the game's changed. You get the goalkeeper and the centre half split here, and the full back split up there, and everybody pushes on. So all of a sudden, the middle of the park there's quite a bit of space. Everybody was condensed. It's just the way the game was, the way it was played. It's such a more open, and I'll have to say entertaining game now, but it was very
different. Frank,
very different.
You replied straight away and said nobody, no goalkeeper could do it back then.
No, especially in England, I have to say, yeah, I played a year with Dimitri Karin. Maybe the only one, if I may, because I played with him also with the national team, was Fabien Barthez. He was capable of taking on some players, even if he made a huge mistake. I think he was playing for Manchester United at the time. But he was capable of dribbling, and he played sometimes as a striker when we did some charities after our career. But he knew how to use the ball with his feet, with his left foot. But he was maybe the only one. Otherwise, I'm struggling finding somebody except maybe Shaka Hislop, because when he was young, he was a very technical player.
You never
That's
see.
right.
You reckon?
That's right, Frank. That's
you reckon Fabien Barthez is a myth? Because I've never seen Frank and Fabien Barthez
In the same room.
In the same room at the same time.
They played the final together. They played the final in 19...
No, it was one person.
Oh, it was? Oh, all right, I thought so.
Yeah, it was just,
You never saw them
and to be honest,
screen at the same time, even during that final, right?
no.
And you remember Laurent Blanc always used to kiss Fabien Barthez. I could see Frank kissing himself. I really believe they're one person, because Frank is the only player who could kiss himself.
And it turns out all those years ago,
convincingly.
and it's St Etienne in 1998, 3 months before the World Cup final, when I was going, Frank, down the tunnel. It turns out it wasn't Frank, it was Fabien Barthez. I mean, the gloves were a giveaway. I mean, I couldn't see the gloves at the time. Frank, you're not talking to me. And this guy's going, who's this guy?
How'd he go?
This guy.
That's true.
It was my best French accent. Who's this guy? Is that not French?
Look at Frank's not. Has it happened a lot?
It was
Frank?
in Saint-Etienne. Craig, it was in Saint-Etienne, I think, that story.
We can hate
You
Saint
played
Etienne.
against in Saint-Etienne in Scotland, and he pretended. He said, Frank, I talked to you. You didn't want to answer to me. I said, it wasn't me. I wasn't there. I didn't play that game. It was Fabien Barthez. Leave me alone with that story.
6 months previous, Frank had been my teammate, and I thought, why is Frank not talking to me? Hey, Frank! And then he said to me, I wasn't there. I was talking to somebody in a full head, playing for France.
Has it happened a lot, Frank?
Yes, again yesterday, somebody called me Fabien Barthez on the street, down the street. I get a little bit upset because I don't find Fabien Barthez quite handsome, but whatever. I have to take it, I guess. No, well, old bald guy look alike, but whatever. That's the way it is.
All right. For everyone.
It was his birthday, by the way, yesterday. Yesterday was his birthday, Fabien Barthez.
Barthez's birthday.
What age is he?
52.
52, he's older than... Oh,
52.
He looks his age now, to be fair. Yeah.
We're going to talk baseball now. We've talked basketball today. We're going to talk baseball.
Okay.
For everyone, baseball players have walk-up music for every bat or at bat. What song would you have chosen for your on-field introductions and why?
Oh, God.
Is there a song that you'd like to rock out to?
I can't think of anyone.
Even if you're walking out to a boxing ring, what would your song be?
Pass the Dutchie on the left hand side. Who sung that? I will walk 500 miles, the Proclaimers.
Have you got one for
I have
Frank?
absolutely no idea.
Frank has.
Because I'm very humble, I would choose Simply the Best.
I don't know. That's a
Can't
good
think
question.
of anything. All right. The last question. It's not
No.
really a question.
Why are you laughing already? You're not
Are you going to ask yourself a question?
Not today. Kay, please remind all the boys of ESPN FC when not on camera, they shouldn't be breathing heavily on the mic.
Who was that? Who did that?
Do you do it, Chaka?
Me? I don't know.
That's
Is it me?
you. That's you,
I'm
Chaka.
not here because I'm in here with them.
I don't know.
Darth Vader over there.
Is it me, Frank?
Down boy.
Dude.
Our producers are telling me that Shaka and Stevie are the worst culprits.
Right,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Listen, I mean, Stevie.
It's more than just heavy breathing with Stevie. Anyway, thanks so much for your questions. I will remind them all.
He was making noises the other day. Yesterday he was making noises when he was on. Things were clunking in the background.
Shaka,
Now I'm gonna
stop
keep doing
snoring.
All right, thank
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.